You're listening to the Open Books Podcast.
Your next chapter starts now.
Is it love, 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 love that I'm feeling? Is it love, 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 love that I'm feeling? Is she the one?
Play with us. Hello and welcome back to the Open Books Podcast. I'm Amber.
And I'm Colby.
Hey, Colby.
How are you?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone. I hope everyone has a lovely New Year's Eve.
Happy.
I really want to perfect my Australian/English accent.
Yeah,
I just feel like it's so much cuter to have an accent.
it's way cuter. And we definitely do like a combo.
Yeah, right.
UK meets the Australian.
Yeah, Londoners.
Seas.
We live in Essex.
We just fancy a good book.
We love a good book, don't we?
But nar.
But no.
But nar.
I don't know why, but this just randomly made me think about Saltburn again because of the accents. I just have to tell you that I have watched the movie 3 times now.
Colby.
I went to the movies with you. I forced Skylar to watch it with me,
Mhm.
and then I forced Amber to watch it with me. So I've watched it 3 times. I love it more and more every time. I'm like noticing so many little like tidbits and
Something like different each time.
something different each time. It's so funny watching it again because there's so many like one-liners. All of that to say is like watch the movie. It's
I know.
hilarious.
I really want to force Millie, Brooke, Avery, Dylan, and Josh to watch.
You
the,
have to.
to watch the book. It's just that good.
It's a book and a movie. My mom was listening to our episode and she was like, "That is so nasty." When it came on Amazon Prime, she was like, "Your little pornographic movies on TV," and I was like,
you little porno.
"You little porno," and I was like, "Don't hate on the Saltburn."
Did she watch it?
No, I don't think she's going to.
I
Like,
want my mom to watch it, but
I know
a
I
lot
wanna
of
hear what your mom says.
a lot of the TV my mom watches, because honestly, we have similar tastes
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of content.
Yes,
But she watches a lot with Addie, and I just think that's something Addie's not.
you know what? That's too far.
I don't. Yeah, there's a lot.
It's
happening.
too far to watch
It's-
with your mom.
Right.
You know, I think Addie could watch on her own.
Right. Like I saw 50 Shades of Grey with my mom and mama.
Mm-mm. That's too
And
much.
I thought that was something then. Could you imagine seeing Saltburn? And that was
No.
like, I was like a senior.
No, you must have been like cringing.
I don't really remember, but I'm sure I was.
Yeah, it's so weird to watch it like that with your parents.
Ooh.
But anyway, love Saltburn.
Love it.
the accents.
So before we jump into our next book
Yes.
that we are analyzing and reviewing,
Yes.
what let's like reflect a little bit.
Let's do a little
We've
reflection.
come so far.
Yeah.
What was your favorite memory of 2023?
This is such a hard question because there's so many memorable things of 2023. I also
sure was.
get like my years mixed up. Like what happened in 2022 versus 2023. I have to really think
Mhm.
about it. But sitting here pondering on 2023, I'm going to say that my favorite memory was just like this overall self-growth that I went through.
Yes.
2023 was a really big year for me as far as growing in my spirituality and my way of thinking and really everything.
Yeah.
It was the first year that I've like prioritized that within myself.
100%.
I have always just kind of like accepted the way my brain worked, really. And I was like, this is just it. I'm living with it. And honestly, with our friendship, like truly, and I'm not going to get emotional. I am
I was gonna say, I'm
not
sitting
gonna
here
get
like-
emotional. So I'm just going to say this
Fighting back the
quickly.
tears.
With our friendship, it has pushed me really to like grow within myself. I've done so much self work. I've read books that I would have never
Mhm.
read before. I've like meditated and journaled. Never done that in my whole life before. 2023 was the year of me doing it, and it's been so impactful. I notice I have so much more to like grow, and it's so easy to fall off of those habits.
Mhm.
Like I'm already kind of like stopping doing those things, and I want to bring them back in 2024 like full force
Yeah,
because I know how like impactful they can be.
for sure.
One other thing that I want to highlight of 2023 was just like starting the podcast. Like,
That's what I was gonna say. Honestly,
too.
like,
Yeah.
what you said, both of those were mine too.
perfect.
So,
We did it. Like, we went for something. We had this idea brewing for like years and years.
Mhm.
Genuinely. It was like
Genuinely.
at least 2 years.
we talked about it for so long,
Mhm.
and I think the only thing that held us back was like this anxiety,
Yeah.
this fear of what people
Mhm.
would think,
Yeah.
and we just were like, who cares? Like, literally, who cares?
Who cares?
And
Why
now-
not us?
Here we are.
Yeah.
with the podcast, and like
It's-
it's our life. Like
It's-
it's our honestly, like it's our brand. It's our business.
and it's our passion.
It
Like
is.
it's so much fun. I found so much enjoyment in it. Because it's something that we couldn't really do with anyone else. Personally, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
Couldn't do with anyone else. We have like such a special friendship and connection that it just like blossomed through the podcast. It's so much fun.
It really is so much
If
fun. And
no
you're
one
so
listen-
right.
Yeah.
It is like it was meant
It
to
was
be
meant
me
to
and
happen.
you.
If no one listened, I would still do it because it's so fun.
Absolutely. It's girl therapy.
It really is. First of all, reading, obsessed. Getting together and talking about it, obsessed. I've always been such a reader, and I've never had the
Mhm.
chance to like sit down and talk about books. So to be able to do this, and also everything else in between,
Absolutely.
we're
And
so
you-
versatile. We don't
we're
only talk
so
about books.
versatile, but it's something that I think it's something we both always searched for. Like
Mhm.
we love podcasts, but
Mhm.
we wanted to listen to book reviews and book analyses.
Yes.
And we literally, I mean, they're out there,
Right.
but we started
Yeah.
what we wanted or what we were looking for. And I
Exactly.
think that was so
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes, and just like taking the first step and trying something new has given me so much more courage in everything else that I do.
Absolutely.
Because it was like it took us doing something big like this to be like, oh, it's okay to start new things.
And like pushing you out of our comfort zones.
Mhm.
Like
So important.
it really has kind of how you were talking about like the growth spiritually and just like in life in general.
Mhm.
I didn't realize how much I needed it. Like you truly can rewire your brain.
You can.
Like happiness is a choice
Yep.
that you just will consistently choose.
Exactly.
It's
And you're
just-
always working on it. It's never just going to wake up and
Always.
it's going to be so easy and you're going to have
No.
hard times and hard days, but like taking the time to really focus on your mindset is everything.
Everything.
Yep.
Connect with your spirit.
Yep.
I'm just gonna leave it there.
Boom. That's it.
Boom. So with that, we are going into the new year. So do you have any goals or intentions for 2024?
Yeah, I really just want to like continue on this journey of like coming into who I am meant to be, who I always have been, but like fully just being my 100% authentic self, both as like
oh my gosh.
yes,
Yes.
both as like an individual and a mom, of course. Like that's always going to be at the forefront of what
Mhm.
I do is my family, but like I can't be my best self as a mom without like really pouring into who I am as a person and like
100%.
and like honoring that and doing what makes me happy.
Yeah.
So that's
I
my,
love that.
That's my real like that's my goal. And then of course the podcast. Like I want to just keep prioritizing it and doing it because one, it brings me so much joy in my
Mhm.
life and like so much purpose. Really, joy and purpose. It gives me that.
Absolutely.
And to have found that, think is really valuable. To find something that you feel that way about.
And it's exciting because that's like my intentions for the year are like you said, like health, but
Health.
not. I don't care about like I want to lose 10 pounds. I don't care about that.
Mhm.
I want to feel good. And so that's like treating my body right. And I've touched on like having some clean products and
Yeah.
switching and, drinking a lot of water, whatever. But also the spiritual and mental growth. We have to continue that because, like you said, it is a lifelong thing.
Yes.
And I guess these are more of like my priorities, like
Let's
you were
hear 'em.
saying.
Mhm.
So like overall health, not dieting. No,
Mhm.
business expansion
Yes.
because it really just goes to show you that it doesn't matter like where you are in life. Like you can find something that still brings you that passion.
Yeah.
And if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
It's so true.
It's so true.
So true.
And my other priority is priority.
Priority.
Priority is this idea of like magnetism, of like
Mhm.
just like things being drawn to you, you being drawn to people. So I guess it's just like overall like checking in with my energy, if that makes sense. Like what I'm
Yes.
bringing to a room.
Yeah.
I don't want to be, because I'm like so in tune with that. Like
Mhm.
I will literally not go somewhere because I'm like, look, straight up, I am a Debbie Downer right now, and you
Mhm.
do not want this at your dinner. Like
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
I love that. You're
normalize it. Like
normalize it, recognizing
it's
it.
not personal. I'm actually saving you from like this negative energy that I have right now,
Mm-hmm.
pouring into this fun dinner. I don't know. It's just an
And
example.
that negative energy is so inevitable. Like I have weeks where I'm just like ill to everything, ill
Oh,
to
yeah.
myself, and like, but the key is like recognizing it. So if you feel like you're not gonna bring that positive energy other places to be able to like recognize that, So important.
Right.
I love that word, magnetism.
Magnetism.
Like, you were going to bring to you what you really put out into the world.
yes.
And like that abundance mindset that we always talk about.
Abundance.
That is a big thing for 2024. I think for both of us is just like
yeah.
having this mindset of abundance, like abundance of wealth, abundance of happiness, wealth in everything, not just money, like wealth in just
In life in general.
Mhm.
Like, we truly, and listeners, you too, like,
Yeah.
you can have it all. It is a mindset. Like, I
Yes.
refuse to live in this, like, victim
Mhm.
world.
Yeah.
Like, there is no poor me. Like,
No.
I do know.
And I've lived in it for a long time, and now doing all
Right?
this
Like,
work,
I've
I'm
been
like,
there.
yes, and doing all the work, you don't have to stay there.
Right?
And
Like,
y'all-
you don't have to.
We're not being like, we know everything.
No.
But we're just saying
This
it's
is just experience, like personal experience.
yes, personal experience and truly thinking about like the next year. What do we want? And it is abundance. Everyone wants abundance.
Yes.
I've had like a really impactful conversation with Ashley Dean,
Mhm.
and she opened my eyes because she was asking me, like, "What do you want?" And I was like, "Well, I'm not." I literally said these words. I'm not asking for much. Like, I'm not asking to be rich. And she's like, "Stop." And I'm like, "What?" She was like, "Why not though? Like, what you do want it all. You do want to have an abundant lifestyle. So by you saying like, I'm not asking for much, you're
You're
stopping."
closing yourself off.
Exactly. You're closing yourself off. You deserve it. You're going to do good things with whatever comes your way. You have only good intentions. So be open to those things coming to you, and like they will, because when you're open to them, you put yourself in situations, you put your energy towards things that are going to bring that
Exactly.
abundance to you.
Exactly. So
Wowzer.
the idea of like having that abundance mindset.
Yeah.
Like,
We just have to
why
keep
can't
it.
we?
Why can't
Why
we?
can't we?
And that's
Staying
something
open.
Yeah, and that's just like a goal for 2024, I think, for both of us, is like
Yeah.
keeping that mindset. It's very easy to lose, so just prioritize keeping it.
Yeah. And I think like this just popped in my head, so I just have to say it. Something huge that I learned in 2023 is that you are only in control of yourself. You cannot control how other people react,
Mm-hmm.
what they say, and how they feel. Right? Like,
Yep.
you don't have to walk around being a complete asshole, but like if
No.
you need to make choices for yourself and decisions for yourself, like you can't control how other people react. And
Yeah.
I think that's huge.
And you have to be at peace with it.
Yeah.
And I think everybody can relate to that, having situations like that.
Oh, for
It's
sure.
so not easy, but you have to be at peace with like, it's okay to do what's best for you.
And 2024 just
Yeah.
feels
Yeah.
feels good.
It's got good energy.
It's giving good energy, and I think it's going to be really good for us.
You know the soundtrack to Saltburn, and how it's just like so positive and uplifting?
Yeah.
That's the vibes I get for 2024. Like,
Absolutely.
Tomorrow
dance floor.
Yep, that's the vibes I'm getting for 2024.
Yes, just like light,
Mhm.
airy, floral.
Yeah. Sunshine.
I'm getting a lot of sunshine.
You guys, we have to manifest it, okay? Like, just keep these good
Manif-
vibes going.
Keep these good vibes going. Keep these good vibes going, and
Let's keep it
honestly,
vibey.
just go after whatever you want in 2024. That's
it.
how I feel.
We love y'all. Do it.
Love you.
Okay, well, now, shall we jump into Don't Let Her Stay?
We shall.
Okay, this was a very fast-paced, I would say, thrilling novel. So the summary actually isn't even that long, because this book, it was just like boom, 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 shit was happening. So I'm going to give y'all the summary, and then we'll jump into the discussion. All right. Disclaimer, this is kind of obvious, but this summary won't be super linear to the book, because this book has a lot of twists and different back and forth timelines. So like spoilers are going to come at random times. This book is told from the point of view of our narrator named Joan. Did you say Joanne or Joan?
I called her Joanne.
I did too.
Did
Okay,
you listen to the audiobook?
And she said Joanne. I think the way I
Okay.
spelled it right here was Joan, but it's Joanne.
Joanne.
Yeah. Also, the audiobook had this like fabulous England accent. Love.
Oh, I
That's-
exclusively
Mm.
read it in Kindle, so I didn't get to experience the narrator.
It's nice. She had like the raspy crisp, that we're always searching for.
I
she had it.
currently have a vocal fry,
Love
and I'm
it.
obsessed.
I love it. If only you had an English accent to match the vocal fry.
If only.
Okay. So anyway, we have Amber. She
I
is okay.
apologize.
It's okay. Get it out, sister. Get it out in 2024. All right. This book is told from the POV of our narrator, Joanne. Joanne is married to Richard, and they live a seemingly perfect life with their new baby named Evie. They live in a large estate in England. Richard is a hardworking businessman, and Joanne decides to go back to working remotely as a real estate agent so she can work some and still be home with Evie. The couple is going about their lives, and things seem to be going really well. Besides the fact that Joanne is like super tired as a first time mom, Evie, her daughter, is a terrible sleeper. Joanne is just overtired, as most moms are, but she seems still pretty happy with her life with Richard and Evie nonetheless. Everything changes, though, when Richard's older daughter from a previous marriage comes back into their lives. She finds out that Evie was born and she wants to be in her baby sister's life. So, her name is Chloe. Before this, Chloe had not spoken to Richard in quite some time because she was so angry at him for remarrying and moving on with his life. You see, we find out much later in the book that Richard's past with Chloe was actually very dark. So, in Richard's past life, he was married to Chloe's mother, and he also had another baby daughter named Sophie, who was 3 months old when Chloe was 11 years old. Chloe's mother died, and her death was ruled a suicide by jumping out of a window. A couple months before her death, their daughter Sophie had passed away. Chloe's mother's death was chalked up to being due to depression brought on by the loss of her 3-month-old baby. Chloe and Richard went on to live the rest of their lives together as a small family. But when he got remarried to Joanne, Chloe walked out on him and went off to college. He ended up buying her $1 million flat and tried getting her back in his life, but she wanted nothing to do with him. She was super mad that he decided to move on with his life and marry Joanne. However, though, when Chloe finds out Evie is born, she comes back to live with her dad and Joanne. Joanne is ecstatic about Chloe coming back. She really wants to get to know her stepdaughter and develop a relationship with her. But Chloe is very nasty to Joanne. She's Rudy and bratty to her all the time, telling her horrible things and making her life a living hell. Joanne tries to tell her husband, Richard, about Chloe's behavior, but Richard wants none of it. He looks at Chloe like she's his angel baby girl who could do no wrong. To be fair, Chloe acts like a totally different person when Richard is around. She acts like a sweet little daddy's girl. Joanne wants to hire a nanny to help her twice a week while she's at work, but Chloe insists on watching her baby sister Evie instead of having a nanny do it. Joanne tries to protest, but Richard convinces her to let Chloe be the babysitter of Evie. Of course, just like the rest of Chloe's actions, she turns out to be a terrible help with the baby. She's irresponsible, always acting strange, not really helping. Her behavior turns so vile that even Joanne starts to believe she wants to hurt the baby Evie. Joanne installs cameras to try to catch Chloe doing something shady in the action. Richard finds out about the cameras and goes off on Joanne. He has Chloe's back all the way. He acts like Joanne is the one who hates Chloe and is mean to her, but really it's the other way around. It gets worse and worse until one night everything changes and comes to a head. Chloe takes baby Evie and tells Joanne that she has to leave the house right away. She says that Richard, her father, is actually evil and is going to kill them. According to Chloe, Richard was the one who killed her mother and sister all those years ago, and she knew he was planning to do the same thing to Joanne and Evie. Joanne is reluctant to believe her at first, but eventually, after some convincing from Chloe, she does, and this entire crazy night ensues. Chloe and Joanne and baby Evie are hiding in the house from Richard. He comes home and realizes what's going on. He starts going crazy trying to find them in the house. In this chaos, Joanne and Evie escape. Chloe ends up killing Richard, her father, and Joanne realizes that her entire marriage was a lie. According to Chloe, Richard only married Joanne because he was in financial trouble and was going to use her death to get $10 million in insurance. Their daughter Evie was just collateral. After these events, Chloe and Joanne live together and raise Evie. Joanne becomes a mother figure to Chloe and they work on their traumas together. You think it's a happy ending until Chloe and Joanne go to visit Chloe's grandmother, who tells Joanne that she has always known Chloe to be a psychotic liar. She fully believes that Chloe is the one who killed her mother and sister all those years ago, not Richard, solely because she wanted Richard to herself. Apparently, Chloe did admit this to Richard all those years ago, who then sent her away to a mental institution, refusing to believe that she actually killed his wife and daughter. When she got out of the mental institution, she claimed that she had just made that story up. Richard blindly believed that Chloe was only traumatized from the death of her mother and sister and never really responsible for everything that happened. That's why he always had her back so hard. We find out that most likely in the end, Chloe really was the ultimate gaslighter and master manipulator. The end.
Okay, so let's jump into our discussion-based questions for Don't Let Her Stay. Some of these were pulled from Oprah's book club.
Oh, I didn't know this was the Oprah's book club choice.
It's not, but but some of the questions are.
Oh, okay.
So they were just kind of like generic questions that can be applied to like any book. So I pulled some like, oh, these are actually kind of fun, mixed in with a few that I just, brought up.
Okay. Cute.
So what did you think of the overall writing of this novel?
It was decent.
Yeah.
It was The Troop,
It was not The Troop,
but I enjoyed it. It reminded me a lot of Frida McFadden books.
for
Like,
sure.
very fast paced. I didn't find the writing to be bad by any means.
No.
It just wasn't like groundbreaking. But I can
Mm-mm.
appreciate a quick, fast paced thriller that has me intrigued the whole time, and I felt like this was it. The writing was fine for
Yeah,
me.
the writing was fine. I did find that in some spots it was a little choppy,
Mhm.
like the sentence structure, like it just didn't flow.
Agreed.
I'm not acting like I am profound in the writing genre, but I did find that. But I will say that the author did a really good job developing Chloe,
Mhm.
and I feel like that kind of goes into the writing. But I'll save that for when we talk about Chloe herself.
Okay, so we are going to talk about Chloe.
100% gonna discuss. I mean, we can't not discuss Chloe.
Chloe was a polarizing character.
Yeah.
One thing to mention just about the writing, I do wonder, because I listened to the audiobook of this,
Mhm.
I do wonder if that had anything to do with, like, I wonder if I can't really tell how good or bad the writing is because of the audiobooks. I can't really see when she puts a period or when she puts a comma
Mhm.
or if things are choppy. I kind of just, the writing for me goes based off of how the narrator reads the story.
Right.
So I just find that interesting.
There
Like,
was-
it's something to think about.
Yeah, and you saying that made me think about and it could be because she is a UK writer.
Yeah.
But like for the abbreviation for Mrs., there was no period behind Mrs.
Oh, really?
Right. And Mr., there were no periods, and the
Like, I wonder if that's a UK thing or if it's a grammatical error.
Right, that's what I was kind of wondering. And then
Hmm.
for the dialogue, it was instead of like quotes, it
Mhm.
was just like two apostrophes.
Interesting.
So I don't know. It could be like the grammatical structure in
Right.
over there. But
Yeah. I
it stuck
also
out to me.
love reading like UK based books because I just like their lingo. Like, I like how they talk about the flat and Essex. I love it.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's just
It's just fun.
It's fun.
Mhm.
Yeah. Their way of talking is so much better than ours.
I wonder if they feel like that about us. I don't think so. I feel like they
No.
prefer their
like
language.
when you say you fancy something, it's
Mhm.
so much better than saying I like it.
So true.
So like
Flat versus apartment, I'm going with flat.
I'm going with flat every time. What was your favorite part of this book?
For me, it was the setting. Like, I genuinely love any
Yes.
grand house setting.
Totally.
That's something that I think we both really like. A lot of the books we've chosen just so happen to have like big grand house settings.
Mhm.
I love, well, we just kind of mentioned this, but it being in England, I like books that are set somewhere else, especially England, because
Absolutely.
I like hearing their lingo, and I like that they were rich. Like, that's just always fun for me to read.
I love reading about rich couples.
Rich England
For
couples.
sure. You know, my favorite part, I don't know if I found it like comical or not, but when Chloe doctored the photo with Simon,
Oh yeah, that was kind of funny.
like, girl, you're that good that your dad was really gonna believe that that was Joanne kissing the land
So
scaper keeper groundskeeper.
okay, this is why that is funny to me too, because it was just so unbelievable that it was kind of funny. Of course,
Right.
this is a fictional book, so
Yeah.
like you have to like suspend disbelief sometimes, but like really, like that was kind of an eye roll for me too. And it was just like an eye roll for me that Joanne couldn't just like grow a pair and be like, "Bitch, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen."
Right.
Like, you
Send
literally-
me that picture right now. I'll show
Right.
your dad.
Exactly. That's what I would have said. Come on. Let's bring Simon and go ask if this is real. This is a Photoshop.
Be fucking for real.
BFFR, bitch.
BFFR.
Stop it. Stop it.
Pardon.
Pardon.
Stop it. Okay. So let's just discuss the Chloe of it all. What were your first impressions and how did you feel towards her at the end of the book?
Hate, loathe entirely. Chloe could square up for real. Wanted to fight Chloe. She was a terrible character. Honestly, for me, throughout the whole book, I thought she might have had a little redemption towards the end, although I was still suspicious of Chloe throughout that time. All right, so I had my eye on Chloe most of the book. I found her insufferable. I thought it was annoying that nobody like took up for her. I don't know if we're going to talk about Richard in here, but Richard was giving the dad from The Perfect Child, who just believes everyone besides his wife.
And Chloe was giving Janie.
Yes, she was.
Ugh.
Yeah, I hated that trope, but I mean, it made the story very interesting. Of course, her personality was necessary to the plot, but she was just such a little brat, so ungrateful, so rude to poor
No.
Joanne, who's just out here trying her best.
Like Joanne's trying.
And the part
She's a
that
new mom.
she's a new mom. One part that really pissed me off was when Chloe was questioning Joanne on why she's not breastfeeding, and
Like, bitch.
leave her alone.
Have you breastfed?
Exactly.
GTF.
I'd like to see you try, Chloe.
I'd like to see you try.
Joanne was just tired. Like, she was trying her best. Evie was keeping her up all night, and then she's got this little bitch come in here. Chloe come in here and just be such a brat. Like, she would have had to be immediately kicked out of my house. Like, I'm sorry, Richard. You don't believe me? I'm leaving, and I'm taking Evie with me.
Yeah.
So,
honestly, Chloe, at the beginning of honestly, throughout the whole book, I hated her. I don't know if I've hated a character so much except Janie.
Yeah, it was giving Janie vibe. It was giving that same energy of hatred.
Because my mom was like, y'all need to read this book. Well, I texted her and was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this book because of Chloe. I was so close to hating the book because of Chloe's character. And then towards the end, I was like, wait. Like when Richard was going crazy.
You were like, that's a good plot twist.
That's a great plot twist. Like, Chloe might actually be good.
She might be onto something.
She was so, like, I guess out of all the characters, she was the most developed.
Yeah, she was.
Because for her to come up with, like, that crazy-ass story that, like, she was actually there to save Joanne and Evie. Wild.
That was a crazy scheme that she pulled. Did you believe her?
I did.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. Oh, we kind of get to that.
Okay, well, let's get there.
But I was, okay. I'll save it.
Okay.
Which character was your favorite?
The dog, Oscar.
Same! I'm not kidding if you look at my notes.
Oscar. Period.
Pooh.
I just love when authors bring in, like, really cute dogs and they use them as a device. Like, Oscar was in those stories so much. Wait, what kind of dog was he? I pictured him as, like, I almost pictured him as golden retriever. I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Imba is
Y'all, I'm
dying.
so sorry. I hate to cough in your ear.
Don't be sorry.
Okay, so I pictured Oscar as like a little white and brown fat beagle.
So cute. I could see that too.
So cute, but that's how I pictured him.
Yeah, just like a loving family dog.
A little loving family doggy. What were your initial plot theories? Were the twists to your liking?
Okay, so this is what we were saying before about did you believe Chloe? My theory was pretty quickly that Richard was on some other nasty business.
Same. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, his hands are dirty.
Yeah, Richard was giving lots of
Richard.
so many red flags on Richard's end, especially because he did not believe his wife, who was honestly just a really good wife who was trying her best. I can't stand when husbands are like, "You're crazy. You're crazy. You're nuts." Like, I wanted to punch Richard in the face. He took up for Chloe so much, and it's like, what about me?
It was
I'm your
honestly
wife.
so frustrating
Mhm.
because I didn't hate him at first. Like, he was just like the typical like husband trope for me.
Mhm.
And then I was starting to, well, I guess she wanted us to pick up on some weird shit.
Mhm.
To
Richard.
What's going on?
What's
going on? And then how he was like, I don't know if Evie should be around you if you can't take care of yourself. Bitch, what?
No, I hate when husbands act like that in books. Like,
No, it's the worst.
be there for your wife. You literally married her. You married her.
Mhm. You married her.
Stop it. But I did, okay, so I thought something was up with Richard, and then the plot twist when Chloe was like, actually, I made this whole thing, I orchestrated this whole thing because I wanted you to believe that I was evil, so that way you would leave Richard and he wouldn't kill you because he's actually crazy. I was like, okay, maybe Chloe's onto something. She
right.
had a smart plan.
Like, you're coming back after all these years to save the family.
Right. Save the family from the... So overall, I didn't see the final plot twist of Chloe making up the scheme, and then it's like a double plot twist. Then it actually,
yeah.
she scammed us as well.
Because I honestly thought when she gave that whole little, I came back to save y'all.
Yeah.
My dad wanted to kill you to get your inheritance. And Joanne's like, it ain't that much, sis.
I literally have
But
60K.
her life, right, like I have 60,000, but her life insurance policy was like hefty, which did Richard actually want to take that out?
I don't think so. I think that
Because
was all a lie.
But she believed it.
Right.
Like, wouldn't you know if you opened up a life insurance policy with your husband?
Right. Question mark right
Question
there.
mark. Anyway, and we read psychological thrillers, so one would think I would be better than this, but I was like, oh, bow on top. Chloe's not evil, it's Richard.
They live this life together. It's a mother-daughter dynamic, so beautiful.
Right. Wait, and then when they go visit Helen, I text my mom like, no, Nan's crazy too, and she's like,
Keep reading, bitch.
keep reading. So
Helen was on to Chloe. She was like, she's a nasty little
Honestly,
liar. Helen was on top of it.
Helen was the shit.
So, like, in the end, justice for Richard. Like,
I don't know. You think?
no, because you know what? He was a little, like, he was an ass no matter what.
No matter what, and the
He-
way he was acting was
Yeah. Maybe he didn't deserve to be murdered straight up by his
No,
daughter, but, like,
did he want to kill Chloe though? Like
I
he
don't
was going
know.
at her with an axe, right?
you know what? You're right. There
Like,
was a lot that happened in the last 20% of the book,
No matter what,
right?
no one's life was going to be the same because if I were Joanne,
Mm-hmm.
I would be like, you're capable of killing. You want to kill your daughter with an axe, and then he went and got the shotgun.
Yeah, you're right. You're crazy.
You're crazy. It's giving Amityville horror. They
Wait.
were not right.
None of the people in this story were right, and Joanne should have had. Joanne was the victim here, but she could have had a little bit tougher boots on. There was one other thing that I was like, Joanne, come on. How do you marry somebody and you don't tell them that your ex-wife died of suicide and you had a baby that died?
Thank you.
That was news to Joanne.
Right, and they were already married for 2 years.
I don't think so.
That is something that, like, as you're getting to know someone,
Yeah.
I would imagine, like, you share.
You share that before you marry someone. And at that point, Joanne should have been like, something's seriously wrong
Like-
here. I'm out.
Chloe might have been the monster,
Yeah.
but Richard was,
Yeah.
he was right behind her.
Yeah, that family was not okay.
Not okay. So, let's kind of, like, shift gears here.
Okay.
Which character would you go on vacation with? The character picks the destination.
All right, I'm choosing Joanne.
Okay.
And here's why. Joanne is a mom who needs some time off. She needs some time
Absolutely.
alone. I can help her with that. Me and Joanne, I think she would pick somewhere tropical. I think she just wants some sleep.
Some
Like,
sleep.
And I think, same, Joanne. I think
And
that
y'all can share margaritas.
exactly. We'll go get spa treatments. We will get our own 2 separate hotel rooms with big fluffy beds and like just sleep as long as we want. Joanne just needs rest.
I love that you're not sharing a room with Joanne.
I'm not.
Because if someone shows up to look for her,
Joanne, get somebody else to do it.
mm,
I'm
mm.
not involving myself in Joanne's drama, but I
Oh.
will accompany her on like the moms need rest.
Hashtag moms need rest.
So that's why I'm choosing Joanne. Who are you going on
Normalize it.
vacation with?
Okay, maybe this is the easy way out.
Mhm.
I'm taking Oscar
Oh, love that answer.
because I was so nervous he wasn't gonna make it,
Me too.
and also like, where'd he go?
Wait,
He just ran off.
plot hole because she was like, he ran off. Okay, she's like, okay, I'm glad he got out of the house, but I can't wait for him. He's gone.
And then he bites Richard's ass,
oh yeah.
which thank you, Oscar.
So
So he did get out of the house.
So Oscar really did serve up some justice in this book.
He did. So, and for that, I'm
Yeah.
treating him. He chose to go to Colorado,
Perfect.
somewhere like cozy
Yeah.
in like a lodge.
He can have like a little doggy vest and a little beanie.
Absolutely.
So cute.
Okay, overall, did you like it? How many stars are you giving it?
I liked it a lot. I'm gonna give it 3.75 stars.
Wow.
So I wouldn't say it's a 4 and 5 book,
Mhm.
just because it didn't, it wasn't so in depth. It lacked depth, if you will.
Okay.
However,
fair.
I enjoyed my time with it. I thought it was so much fun. Very quick, fast-paced thriller. Really one of my favorite types of books. So
Yeah.
you know what? I'm gonna bump it up to a 4.
Okay, I was going in with a 4.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4.
Because I really liked it. Like
Mhm.
a 3 for me is just like,
Meh.
It
Yeah.
wasn't bad, but I'm not gonna like recommend it. Like I would recommend this book.
Me too. It was more
So-
than a meh. It was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
It did. It did its job.
I've seen what I needed to see.
I've
and
seen what I needed to say.
and I liked it. Okay. One more thing I wanted to include from here because I wanted to read a 4-star review and I also wanted to read a 1-star review.
I love it.
The 1-star is funny. 4-star review is from Goodreads, written by Raven. She says, "You guys, this freaking book. I wanted to crawl into the pages. I was so annoyed with the characters, but that's also why I loved it. It gave me all the feels I want in a thriller. I thought I was convinced of who it was, and then it changed, and then it changed again. The author did a great job at writing this to be believable from every POV. I'm impressed, truly. I definitely recommend this one if you're in need of a good psychological thriller."
Yeah.
On brand.
I was about to say I agree with that.
Yeah. Okay, 1-star review from Sylvia on Goodreads. She said, "This book and its characters were spectacularly insufferable. I could not recommend it enough. Extremely predictable and a complete waste of my time." Dang.
Oh
Ouch.
wow.
Experiencing this from the perspective of such a clueless, spineless main character
Oh no, Joanne.
Not Joanne, was offensive. I'm amazed at myself for powering through and finishing this. The middle 30 chapters could have been removed and it would have been the same exact story. And the last chapter, she asked herself, how could I have been so stupid? Because you were.
Oh, damn. Like
Like-
that.
I think 1-star reviews are so funny, so harsh. I don't really agree with that. Like, I thought it was fun.
I'm sorry, in my opinion, like that was just not even close to a 1-star opinion, but that's
Yeah.
the great thing about opinions.
Everyone has
Everyone
them.
has one,
Everyone has them. They're all valid.
and they're all valid.
I just don't agree. Like, I think that book was really fun to read.
It was a fun book, and honestly, like it was only 283 pages.
Love.
That's pretty short.
Yeah, it was. It was like a really enjoyable time.
I love that. I love the 1-star reviews.
Me too.
Okay, so this is leading up to our next on the shelf, and Colby and I are so excited for this one. Okay, so our next on the shelf is Released Conversations on the Eve of Freedom by Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard, y'all. I can't wait.
Okay, so Released Conversations on the Eve of Freedom. Gypsy Rose Blanchard discovered that her whole life was a lie. After 8.5 years of incarceration, she can finally tell you the truth with this exclusive collection of interview transcripts and journal entries, plus her own illustration and photos. While incarcerated for her role in her mother's death, Gypsy saw her story told by others again and again in the media, from news reports and podcasts to TV series like The Act on Hulu. Now, granted early parole and preparing for a new life, she's free to speak directly to her supporters and the world. Falsely told that she suffered from debilitating chronic illnesses, Gypsy grew up enduring physical and emotional abuse at the hands of her mother, Dee Dee, including unnecessary medication and surgery. But her desperate attempts to escape a lifetime of isolation led Gypsy into the grip of another abuser, ultimately resulting in her mother's murder. Released is Gypsy's frank, unflinching, and deeply personal reflection on her past, present, and hope for the future.
I cannot wait.
That sounds so good.
It sounds amazingly interesting. I am completely enthralled by Gypsy Rose Blanchard and her
Yes.
story. I remember watching the documentary and the act on Hulu with Joey King. Such a well done show. I think her story is so interesting. I'm so excited to hear from her. I mean, she's a queen. She's out.
Y'all, like, you sent me something. I was like, the
Yeah.
way we are acting so unserious
So unhinged about Gypsy Rose
with
Blanchard.
Gypsy Rose.
Like, she is a very fragile person in a very fragile state. Now, not to say she's not a strong woman, because she is.
Right.
But, like, wow, she's coming out of prison for something so monumental and, like, crazy that happened in her life. And we're all
Yeah.
just like, Gypsy.
Gypsy Queen.
Hit us
She
up.
did post a selfie in her Saints jersey, though.
Yeah, no, we have to talk about, like, the New Orleans, Louisiana of it all.
Yeah.
Because the fact that she's from Louisiana, like, she gets it.
She's
She's
a Creole girly.
She's a Creole girly. Her family is they're so Cajun in
Yes,
the
they are.
documentary. So Gypsy, we understand you. We feel you. We're also Louisiana soul sisters.
Louisiana girls.
We can't wait to read her side of the story. I'm so excited to hear from her.
Mhm.
I just think it's like such an interesting story.
I know. I'm excited for it.
So y'all have to read this with us and
Read with us.
send us all the questions, all the theories. Send us your opinions on the story. One thing I want to I'm really interested to hear from her point of view now that she's like older is the Nicholas Godejohn of it all,
Yes.
the boyfriend who did the killing.
Yep.
I have lots of thoughts on this, and we'll get into it when the episode
Yeah,
comes.
I think that episode's going to be so much fun.
it is, because
'Cause I agree.
there's a lot to unpack with everything. So read it. It comes out January 9th, I think.
January 9th.
So read it along with us. We will be back very soon to chat with y'all. Follow us on Instagram at Open Books Podcast, TikTok at The Open Books Podcast, and leave us a rate and review if you love us, because we love y'all.
Because we love you.
All right, bye, y'all.
See ya.